Okay, we're going to get started. I'm Bernard Block, the curator and host of this poetry reading. And the first reading was on May 19th of 2012 at the Bowery Poetry Club, and then we moved here in August, and we've had this is the fourth reading here at Cornelia Street Cafe, and the fifth reading altogether. So, this is, the title of this series has been called News from the 99%. Well, the Anti-Tea Coffee House Poetry Collective presents subversive poems that challenge conventional wisdom. News from the 99%, or the 1%, who are we? Notes from the underground. The main thing in describing this event is subversive poems that challenge conventional wisdom. Our poetry does not have specific demands, present a specific agenda, or be inspired by topical issues or headlines, but they can. And our poems should deal with real voices of real people, the 99%, not the cartoons and tabloids, cable TV, the blogosphere, etc. Now, to paraphrase Walt Whitman, poems inspired by the people, written for the people, or as Vincent Quattroche, who's reading tonight, pointed out to me, Po Chui, the 8th century Chinese poet, read his poems to washerwomen before reciting them around the city or the countryside. So these are poems, you'll hear a wide variety of poems, a wide spectrum of poems here. Poems written and performed, like the poems written and performed here in Greenwich Village by people like Edna St. Vincent Millay, who lived on Bedford Street, E.E.Cummings, who lived on Patchen Place, W.H.Auden, who Colette Inez reminded me lived and worked on St. Mark's Place, Allen Ginsberg, Bob Dylan, Phil Oakes, Joni Mitchell, etc. I consider them poets. And on another level, to paraphrase Percy Bysshe Shelley, poetry animated by political events, a visionary poetry that inspires, shapes politics, and alters lives. Visionary poetry as an advanced guard of moral awakening. Poets are the unacknowledged legislators of the world. Now, I had sent out some humorous invitations, and I'll just say I kind of parody the title of this. Notes, let's see, News from the 99%, subversive poems, subversive, I want to be entertained. Poems, that challenge, I don't want to be challenged, I want to be entertained. Conventional wisdom, what do you say? Okay, so I'm going to introduce we're going to have a short prelude before the features. The prelude readers are John Brennan, David Elsasser, Mireya Gregorio, and Mireya Bustillo-Perez. They're going to read for about 2 or 3 minutes each, maybe 4, and then the features are Jay Chalik, Patrizia Eakins, Vincent Quattroche, and myself. So, is John Brennan in the house? Did I see him? It looks like he didn't get here yet, so we'll start with David Elsasser, who is... Now, David was the 9 years he helped to co-host the Satin Poetry series at the Nightingale Lounge. He now runs a workshop called the Parkside Poets, and this has been going on for a couple of years. I've been attending some of these, and he's also puts out an anthology of the poets in his series, in his workshop, which some of them are fantastic poets. And he's trying to set up a reading on the Upper West Side. Let's give a warm welcome to David Elsasser. Thank you very much. Okay. So I'll be a little overtly political. I hope it'll be entertaining enough, and then one that's really about the personally political that hopefully will have more entertainment value. Bridge to nowhere. There is a poor island in the much diminished stream of south-flowing development, where modern-day pharaohs built monumental vacation pyramids on mortgaged dignity and sunny day collateral. Back
just a short while ago when those at the point was still successful in commissioning profit and self-aggrandizement here. In the name of the Almighty Sun and the Almighty Buck. Today, there are no markers for the narrow trail starting in the empty parking lot. Am I on? Yes. Today, there are no markers for the narrow trail starting in the empty parking lot of the Grand Pyramid Hotel. Winding down, following ancient lizards and the receding echo of raucous bird calls, leading past the ghost gray concrete stairs down to the ticker tape thin, business boom long footbridge to nowhere. Handrails and walkway disappear in distant pencil point perspective at the epochal vanishing point. Rising, then sinking out to the horizon, rainbow arc leading to an empty pod. The walkway, stained by rotting iron rails, far above the fished-out bay where a species of sanguine starfish runs riot. Sparkling up from the choppy shallows, a crowded sea of swollen red giant stars, forming myriad Taurus and Ursa Majors, a drowned heaven filled with bloated star beasts ever so slowly chasing each other's tails, slow motion snorting through the troughs and crests of endless business cycles. This mic is tricky. Go back. Okay. But it's not on. It is on. Okay. All right. So, this, pick any card. An epigraph. Breaking up is like knocking over a Coke machine. You can't do it in one push. You gotta rock it back and forth a few times, and then it goes over. Jerry Seinfeld. I pick the queen of clubs. She dumps me 3 times in the dust, to my dismay. I glue the fragments of my heart with beer and raise to have another go at love. 3 times in the dust, to my dismay. My queen of diamonds with my best friend Jack. I raise to have another go at love. I cannot think love holds me in contempt. Blame the queen of spades or best friend Jack. I scoff at wise advice and swoon today. I cannot think love holds me in contempt. Till Queenie kicks me down the stairs for fun. I scoff at smart advice and swoon today. My queen of hearts trumps all my sense away. When Queenie says, I'm not her favorite one, I wobble, tumble, bounce, and start to tatter. My queen of heart trumps all my sense away. I glue the fragments of my heart with beer. I totter, tumble, bounce, and finally splatter. I pick the queen of hearts. She dumps me.
Thank you, David. David has a very swervy sense of humor. Appreciate it. Next, we'll hear from Mireya Gregorio. Now, Mireya was born in the Philippines. She lives in Queens now. She lived in England for about 4 years. She's read at the Poetry Cafe in London. She's read at the Nuyorican Cafe here. She's been published in England and in Brooklyn. And I heard her here at the Poetry Son of Pony series. She was featured, and I loved her poetry so much I asked her to join the second edition of the Poetry Collective reading in August. So let us hear a warm welcome for Mireya Bustillo-Perez.
No. Is it on? No, just 1 second. 1 second. No, I probably shouldn't do something. It should be on now. Just talking to it.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay, thank you, Bernard, for inviting me again to the NTT Poetry Collective. This is called Venus. Between my uncle's living room and Mount Mayon, above a slate of stones and the clink of beer bottles, defended she could be touched by fingertips, said my naked eye. Dressed in darkness, she's television image. After a history lesson, I slept on a cushionless bed, dreamless and flat. Jungle meshed at the hinges of constellation, the uneven flight of bats, the sound of coconut drop on summer grass. Sky of no religion, sky defied, it's just, there is, fenced in suddenly by translucent rain, mud-filled town, over 2 days of road. Day 3, paths cleared by locals. We slumped as children on the laps of banana trees, small as dust to Mount Mayon, stripping clouds with its arrow. Day 365, year of the snake. Day 368, an army arrived. Today, a gathering. Red on the arm of a farmer. Wife with wrists at the table. An officer picking his teeth with tongue. She won't tell, she sees all. Venus bends, the rest erupt. This is called Arrival. This is about one of my friends who came to visit here in New York in 2009. He's Nigerian. This is Arrival. In vibrant red on charcoal skin, having just rubbed the sleep out, you pound snow off your shoes 14 hours after having been interrogated. You are not a revolutionary, although you wear her colors, speak her language, make love to her with your voice, and hold her next to you in bed. You are not a revolutionary, even after fate placed you from the same country as the last guilty bomber. You pass through customs like any other foreigner, prepared to be accused. You proclaimed, Catholic, I'm Catholic. Recall the ordeal in throaty laughter under a Capricorn sun. You are not a revolutionary, but you carry poems in the crevices of your tongue, choke steel-faced men with your lyric. When you return to yourself telling stories out of some unrelated corner, you say something that leaves us pale and sightless. One of your few tales in a sentence. My children will not have a grandfather. In this kind of seriousness, we do not recognize you. There is no teeth-bearing irony, no line to follow to give it redemption. Only an abrupt, violent softness. I want to argue, what about the mother of your children? But I am of a class unaccustomed to the frankness of men. Impermanence silences the room. It is not very long before I break it. Thank you.
beautiful. And now, next we have Mireya Bustillo-Perez, who was born in Colombia, lives here in New York City. I heard her at the Linger Lounge and at Kairos Cafe. She studied with Harry Ellison, and she's a wonderful poet, and I'm very honored to have her read with us. And let's hear a warm welcome for Mireya Bustillo-Perez.
Thank you, Bernie. Hi, everybody. Reclaimed. Under the portals were scribes' personalized model letters to sweethearts and dutiful ones to mothers near the entrance of the fortress within the walls of that walled city. When presidents were poets, el bodegón gathered, el tuerto Luis, el cojo Manuel, and abuelo to flail in rhyming couplets at Castilian sentimentality, writing odes to old shoes, sending shirts to La República, joining Neruda to cry at shelled Madrid, downing dark tintos, dampness staining white linen, smudging cuffs and manuscripts, wiring nerves, bulging eyes, feverish, he wrote, sleeplessness, forfeiting judgeship, piling curling onion skins in rented room in Plaza de los Coches, leaving abuela, niños, casa in the foothill of the monastery where some liberated Congos once worshipped a she-goat. To take the cure no one talked about, he left her alone, except for the hands that could turn string to lace and patio fruit to cocadas and tamarind balls, turning a garage to a tienda. Abuela stopped tongues, showing a señora could work. 60 years later, in this square near the arch, I know she would delight in a cherry cheesecake, attentive to the display and the conduct of the business, while abuelo, blooming from the rest, could nurse a cappuccino and construct an ode to a recycling bin. We just had Earth Day, and so this is in honor of Earth Day. This is Daphne's monologue. I just wanted to be free, to run with my hair flying, no long robes to encumber me. Mother kept after me. Daphne, imagine how beautiful you would look with your hair up and wearing one of your gowns that your father brought from one of his travels. Father, he just was the same. He would say that I had to be a lady to stop running in the forest. And then he warned me about Apollo. He was always after me to impress me with his sun rays. I wanted to run through the trees and feel the breeze through my hair. That day, my feet were flying. I felt like a bird. I felt a heat too close, a breathing almost on my neck. Apollo, his sun rays singeing my hair. I was fast and I knew the forest. He kept on, almost on me. I ran, calling on all my fleetness. No matter, he was on me. I called out to my mother, Gaia, Gaia, save me. The earth below me opened. My white feet rooted deep. My soft skin rough to crust, bark. My flying tresses sprouted leaves. Apollo stood right in front of me. He didn't see me. I am safe, free.